Have you ever wondered what made German tanks in World War II so feared across the battlefield? From the muddy forests of France to the snowy plains of Russia, these metal beasts were more than just machines. They were symbols of power, innovation, and sometimes terrifying destruction. Welcome to Episode 1 of our new series, History of German Battle Tanks in World War II. In this episode, we'll take a journey back in time to discover how Germany revolutionized tank warfare. From their earliest designs to their most iconic tanks like the Panzer IV, Tiger Bern, and the mighty King Tiger. So buckle up, because this isn't just about machines. This is a story of strategy, ambition, and the race to build the ultimate war machine. The beginning of German tank warfare. Let's rewind to the 1920s and 30s. After World War I, Germany was strictly limited by the Treaty of Versailles. They weren't allowed to produce or possess tanks. But behind the scenes, things were different. Germany secretly developed tank technology, training soldiers in the Soviet Union under a secret agreement. It was during this period that the early groundwork for German armored warfare was laid. By 1935, with Hitler's rise to power, Germany openly defied the treaty and began building its military. The Panzer IV, their first real tank, was born. It wasn't very powerful, lightly armored, armed only with machine guns, but it was a start. And more importantly, it trained a generation of tank commanders in the new German doctrine, Blitzkrieg, or lightning war. This strategy focused on speed, coordination, and surprise. Tanks were no longer just support weapons. They were the tip of the spear. Rise of the Panzers, Panzer I to Panzer IV. By 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, they had upgraded to the Panzer II and Panzer III. These were better tanks, faster, better armored, and now armed with real cannons. But it was the Panzer IV that truly became the backbone of Germany's tank forces in the early war years. Introduced in 1937, it had a short-barreled 75mm gun and decent armor. It wasn't the best tank in the world, but it was reliable, easy to produce, and adaptable. As the war progressed, the Panzer IV was constantly upgraded. Later versions had long-barreled guns capable of taking on even the best enemy tanks. These tanks helped the German army blitz through France in 1940. Their combined use of tanks, infantry, and air support shocked the world and crushed the opposition in weeks. Facing the Soviet beast, T-34 versus Panzer. Everything changed in 1941 when Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. At first, German tanks were successful, but then came a rude shock. The Soviets rolled out a new tank, the T-34. With sloped armor, wide tracks, and a powerful gun, the T-34 was superior to most German tanks. It could survive hits and move in rough terrain, especially during Russia's harsh winters. The Panzer III and IV struggled against it. German crews were often shocked to find their shots bouncing off the T-34's armor. Germany needed a new solution, and fast. Enter the Tigers, engineering meets firepower. In response to the Soviet threat, Germany developed new, more powerful tanks. The Tiger I, introduced in 1942, was a monster. With an 88mm gun, originally designed for anti-aircraft use, it could destroy enemy tanks from over 1,000 meters away. Its armor was nearly impenetrable by most Allied weapons at the time. But it wasn't perfect. The Tiger was heavy, expensive, and mechanically complex. It often broke down, and it was difficult to transport. Still, it inspired fear. Allied soldiers often reported hearing a Tiger's engine before ever seeing it, earning it the nickname, the Beast of the Battlefield. Then came its bigger brother, the Tiger II, also known as the King Tiger or Königstiger, heavier, better armored, deadlier. But again, it had flaws. Slow, fuel-hungry, and even more complex. By this time, Germany's industry was struggling to keep up with production and repairs. The Panther, the perfect balance? Around the same time, Germany also introduced the Panther tank. It was meant to be the best of both worlds, a balance of speed, armor, and firepower. Its 75mm high-velocity gun could take on T-34s and even Allied Shermans with ease. It had sloped armor like the T-34, improving protection, and it was faster and more maneuverable than the Tigers. Many historians consider the Panther the best German tank of World War II. But again, it wasn't perfect. It suffered from mechanical issues early on, especially in cold weather or rough terrain. Still, it performed well and was feared by enemy tank crews. Challenges in production and war realities. While German tanks were technologically advanced, they had a big problem: production numbers. Tanks like the Tiger and Panther were expensive and time-consuming to build. Let's compare. Germany built around 1,347 Tiger-borne tanks. The US built over 49,000 Sherman tanks. No matter how advanced German tanks were, they were always outnumbered. Maintenance was another issue. German tanks needed frequent repairs. Spare parts were scarce. Many tanks were abandoned simply because they broke down and couldn't be fixed in time. Fuel shortages also crippled Germany's ability to move and fight effectively, especially in the later years of the war. Late war prototypes, the what-ifs. As the war dragged on, Germany experimented with even more powerful designs. One was the Jag Tiger, the heaviest armored fighting vehicle used in combat during World War II. It carried a massive 128mm gun, but was painfully slow and broke down often. Then there was the Maus, a super heavy tank project. Only 2 prototypes were ever built. It was so big and heavy that bridges couldn't support it. These tanks were impressive on paper, but practically useless. They reflected a shift in German thinking, from fast, mobile warfare to heavy, wonder weapons. But these came too late and didn't change the course of the war. The end of the line by 1945, German forces were retreating on all fronts. Factories were bombed, materials were scarce, fuel was gone. Even the best tanks couldn't save Germany from the overwhelming Allied and Soviet forces. Many tank crews abandoned or destroyed their own vehicles to prevent them from being captured. And with the fall of Berlin, the story of World War II German battle tanks came to a dramatic end. But their legacy lived on. Legacy and influence. Despite their defeat, German tank designs influenced post-war tank development around the world. Countries studied the engineering behind the Tiger and Panther. Some elements, like sloped armor and advanced suspension, became standard in modern tanks. Even the Leopard tank, Germany's Cold War main battle tank, drew inspiration from World War II designs. And in popular culture, German tanks remain iconic, from video games to movies to documentaries. Final thoughts: a balance of brilliance and flaws. German WWII tanks were marvels of engineering. They were deadly, innovative, and in many cases, ahead of their time. But they were also over-engineered, expensive, and hard to maintain. They show us a lesson. Technology alone doesn't win wars. Strategy, logistics, and numbers play just as big a role. Thanks for watching Episode 1, History of German Battle Tanks in World War II. In our next episode, we'll take a closer look at one of the most feared machines of the war, the legendary Tiger I. We'll dive deep into its design, strengths, weaknesses, and battlefield stories. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the next episode. And let us know in the comments, what's your favorite World War II tank? See you in the next one.